This is Takeru. He has a dream of becoming a senior investigator, mainly to pay off the debt his parents left behind and to take care of his younger sister. In the academy, Takeru is always mocked by everyone because he only uses a sword as a weapon, as they believe Japanese swords are outdated and haven't been used since before the Great War. They call him the sword-obsessed idiot of the loser squad. Although it's very hurtful, Takeru has to endure it. As usual, he goes to the squad's meeting room. As soon as he enters, Takeru sees Usagi cosplaying as a rabbit, while Ikuruga is gleefully holding a camera. This scene is so familiar that Takeru bursts into tears. Usagi rushes over and kicks him, grabbing him and demanding to know why he's crying when she's the one who should be crying for being seen like this. But no matter how Takeru tries to defend himself, he's still called a pervert. Ikuruga thinks that if they sell these photos, they could make a lot of money. Then the loser squad starts their meeting. They need to come up with a plan because it's been half a year since they entered high school, and their score is a perfect 0. They need to improve their score, but with Takeru, a sword user, as their leader, they can't accomplish any tasks. Ikuruga remembers a job. A missing rank D magic item is going to be illegally traded tonight. If they capture those involved, they'll earn quite a few points. At this moment, the principal unexpectedly bursts in. Seeing the loser squad's terrible reputation, but liking this team, he brings them reinforcement. It's a girl named Aoka, a former official investigator who, for various reasons, had to transfer to the high school section. She's also the principal's adopted daughter. After the introduction, he leaves to let them get acquainted. Takeru is very surprised that Aoka is here because they were once classmates, but she doesn't remember who he is. That night, the squad begins the mission Ikuruga mentioned. Their target this time is a collection of Andref Jaeger written during the early days of the Witch Hunt War. Takeru and Aoka infiltrate while Usagi provides support from afar. According to Usagi's observation, only one office on the 7th floor has lights on and 2 people are there. With this information, Takeru tells Aoka to go around the back and wait for his signal. When everyone is in position, at Takeru's call, they all attack together. But when Takeru breaks down the door and enters, there's only a group of gangsters there. It turns out Usagi had looked at the wrong building and reported false information to Takeru. Now he has to face many guns. At first, Takeru thinks about kneeling down to apologize and make peace, but the gangsters aren't gay, and when they see he's carrying a sword, they laugh heartily because how could that piece of scrap metal compete with magic and bullets? As if his G-spot had been hit, Takeru becomes furious and wants to cut these guys into 100 pieces. Ikuruga tries to help Takeru calm down, but he's too angry now. One of them shoots at Takeru, but he easily cuts the bullet in half. The next few bullets are no problem for Takeru either. At this moment, the voice of Takeru's younger sister rings out, helping him regain his senses. Ikuruga had recorded it in case this sister-obsessed guy lost control. Takeru wants to kneel down and make peace again, but suddenly Aoka attacks from the ceiling. She shoots out the light bulb and then takes down each person one by one. There's still one left, and Aoka tells him to surrender. Of course, he doesn't listen. He uses instant magic to bring out a military combat robot. Aoka tells Takeru to hide while she can handle this alone. The battle is very one-sided as Aoka has already aimed at the robot's joints and easily disables it. She also captures the smuggler. Takeru runs out to check the situation and accidentally trips and falls onto Aoka's chest. Takeru says he prefers them a bit flatter, as he doesn't like them too big. Embarrassed, Aoka is about to send Takeru flying. At this moment, Usagi snipes the disabled robot from afar, causing a piece of metal to fall on Takeru's head, making him pass out on Aoka's chest once again. From that day on, Aoka had been going on missions alone without needing teammates. Usagi was not happy with this work attitude, but she couldn't do anything when Aoka pointed out the weaknesses of each person. Usagi's sniping was terribly bad. Ikuruga was very good with machines, but over-customized them who would attach an automatic firing system to a 9mm gun. Especially Takeru, although he was the team leader, made very flawed decisions. Aoka advised him to give up being the team leader if he didn't want his teammates to die in vain. After saying that, she left for her mission. Takeru admitted that Aoka was right. He wasn't suitable to be the team leader, but he still wanted to throw a welcome party for her joining the squad. In the afternoon when Aoka returned from her mission, they had prepared a small party to welcome her. but it only made her dislike this squad more. Aoka left afterwards. Takeru noticed that she had been injured on her arm, so he chased after her. He pursued Aoka to talk, but she didn't care and told him to leave her alone. Of course, Takeru couldn't ignore it. Although he was a bad team leader, he was still everyone's leader and couldn't leave a team member injured like that. That night, they both attacked a small headquarters of Valhalla, a little-known witch organization. They were the partners who had participated in the trade that they had attacked earlier. The two entered the warehouse and subdued 2 men. Aoka went to check the cargo boxes while Takeru tied up these guys. When Takeru went inside, he saw many parts of experimental subjects cut into pieces. Aoka apologized for being late, then rushed out to kill the 2 witches. Takeru hurried to stop her because if she killed people, she would lose her investigator license. Losing composure now would only result in more victims. But Aoka revealed that her family had been killed by a witch. She had everything taken away from her, so she hated witches and everything related to magic. Aoka had sworn to use her life to exterminate witches. That was also the reason why she didn't cooperate with others, because she knew they would prevent her from taking revenge. But no matter what, Takeru still stopped Aoka because he still wanted to be her teammate. Takeru's persistence and warmth gradually calmed Aoka down. The next day, the principal called Aoka to his office to talk. He still wanted his daughter to cooperate with the team members. Although the team didn't have 5 million combat power, each individual had great potential. Aoka still didn't care and wanted to do missions alone, until the principal mentioned that a member of that squad was a candidate for a relic eater. The candidate wasn't chosen by the school. The relic eater itself would choose its partner. Hearing this, Aoka said she would consider it and left. Just as Aoka left, surprisingly a purple-haired girl suddenly appeared, whom the principal called Lapis. He asked the girl if she had found a suitable subject to make a contract with yet. Returning to the lousy squad, Usagi was very proud that she could hit the target 100% of the time. Next time she wanted to show Aoka how capable she was. Right at that moment, Aoka arrived. She came here after hearing the reason why Takeru became an investigator, which was to pay off debt. This made her even less accepting of Takeru as the team leader. Ikuruga thought that Aoka wasn't any better, as Aoka had her investigator license revoked, and was even called by another name, Calamity. Aoka always killed criminals even without orders, leaving many pools of blood every time she went on a mission. Aoka had no intention of refuting that and left. She went to the cemetery to visit her family's graves. Takeru followed her afterwards. He really wanted to know what had happened. Aoka still remembered very clearly that day 9 years ago, when a girl with a knife attacked her parents. Even her little sister couldn't escape that fate. Aoka always engraved it in her mind. She swore to kill all the witches. It was her only reason for living. So whenever she faced criminals, blood always rushed to her head. Aoka easily lost herself and pulled the trigger, then called it justice. She had given up her humanity for revenge, and Aoka thought that Takeru becoming her teammate would only hinder her. Takeru didn't have time to answer before an explosion occurred in the city. Someone had summoned a robot. He assigned the robot the mission of targeting Tamedu Academy, the place where witches were seen as sinners and imprisoned. He wanted to liberate the witches. Afterwards, Aoka separated again to handle everything on her own. Takeru was very worried and went to find her. While Takeru was searching for Aoka, Lapis's figure suddenly swept past him. Before he could understand the situation, Takeru received a notification from the principal. The principal informed him that the summoned robot was an ancient hero called Einherjar, and it was heading towards the place where the witches were imprisoned. Unable to gather forces in time, the principal called on all students to help. He ended his appeal with the phrase, "It's time to hunt witches." After hearing the announcement, Takeru asked Usagi and Ikuruga not to participate in the fight and to go to a safe place. He would continue to look for Aoka, knowing she was furious and seeking out the witches. On Aoka's side, she had already encountered the robot. Her bullets couldn't reach it due to a barrier. When Aoka tried to aim at its weak point, she was grabbed and thrown away. Refusing to die there, Aoka summoned another pair of guns to continue fighting. The guns also had souls to communicate with Aoka and healed her wounds. Aoka used armor-piercing bullets to attack. This time, the bullet could penetrate the barrier, but wasn't powerful enough to take it down. As the armor was made from Excalibur's shell, which had rapid regeneration capabilities. Auka decided to switch to the third stage of the gun to attack. But since they hadn't made a pact yet, the gun had to use Auka's blood as power. Auka fired a preemptive strike which was effective. But just as she was about to take down the robot, the gun's owner recalled it. Right as the robot recovered, it slapped Auka, sending her flying. Just as Auka was about to meet her parents, Takeru arrived to assist. This time, the two swordsmen would face each other. Takeru's slashes couldn't scratch the robot. Ikuruga analyzed that the sword the robot was wielding had shooting capabilities, but had a cooldown period after each shot. If Takeru timed it right, he would have a chance. Understanding the situation, Takeru charged into battle. Just as the robot finished shooting, Usagi immediately fired 2 armor-piercing shots from afar, destabilizing the robot. Seizing the opportunity, Takeru rushed in for the kill. Instantly, the robot used an explosion to blow up an area. Takeru, unable to dodge in time, was injured and lay dying. At this moment, Lapis appeared. Since Takeru had been chosen as the second person to make a pact, before completing the covenant, Lapis wanted to confirm a few things with Takeru. She asked if Takeru was willing to give up his human part to fulfill his desire. Takeru agreed without hesitation. Upon completing the pact, Takeru's wounds were healed by Lapis, and she provided him with a battle armor to return to the battlefield. Lapis appeared again, revealing that she came from the Relic Eater line and could originally only be used by investigators. She said she would explain more when there was time, but for now, Takeru would continue to fight. This time, he didn't need to dodge but directly slashed the bullets. The power of both sides was now evenly matched. The robot planned to use another explosion, but Lapis explained that Takeru could also use a burst. Hers was an absolute counter, absorbing the enemy's power into the sword and returning it to them. Just as the monster launched its attack, Takeru concentrated power into the sword, making it glow, and delivered a final blow to defeat the enemy. The summoner was satisfied with this result and left. Afterward, Takeru sat down to talk with Auka. He couldn't say he understood her situation or advise her not to seek revenge, but instead, he wanted Auka to trust her teammates. He would shoulder half of that burden for Auka. Then Takeru collapsed on Auka's lap. At the principal's office, an investigator had captured a witch believed to be an accomplice of the recent witch incident. However, her memories had been erased to prevent information extraction. The principal thought her accomplices might appear to rescue or eliminate her, so he brought the witch to his academy. The next day, the principal called the lousy squad up to commend them as well as explain everything about Lapis. In general, the other Relic Eaters had already chosen new owners for themselves. Only Lapis was without an owner. As the only sword-type weapon, she wanted to choose someone with excellent close combat abilities, and that was Takeru. There was only one drawback. Lapis really liked to appear in human form. The principal didn't want her to cause confusion with other students, so he had to put her in the same class as Takeru. He even made fake documents for Lapis as Takeru's sister. Moreover, today he called the entire squad up here not only to praise them for the riot incident, but also to assign another mission to the squad. Then he called in a girl. She was Mary. The principal explained that the academy had just implemented a new experimental system that allows witches to enroll in the school and join the investigation institute. In other words, Mary was the first witch to enroll. To avoid unnecessary incidents, the principal wanted the squad to protect Mary. Of course, Auka didn't like this idea at all. As soon as they got outside, Mary wanted to go alone to have some peace and quiet. Everyone thought it was fine because she was wearing a tracking collar, and if she used magic, it would explode. Only Auka insisted that Mary report in detail everywhere she went and what she was doing. Naturally, Mary didn't agree, and the two erupted into an argument. The following days weren't any better, with both of them constantly sniping at each other, even during lunch. They argued over a piece of cake, and when Takeru tried to intervene, they both punched him. Afterwards, Mary bought a cold drink for Takeru to treat his wound. He also apologized for Auka's behavior. Mary thought this was normal because the enemies of investigators were witches. Takeru didn't think so because he didn't see Mary as an enemy. He thought if Mary wanted to be an investigator, then he would see her as a teammate. Moreover, from his observation of Mary, he found her to be a very good person. Takeru revealed that he didn't join the academy simply because he hated witches. As for Mary, she wanted to become an investigator because she wanted to show people that magic isn't as dangerous as they think. She wanted to change the world's perception and show that not all magic is dangerous. It can also save people. Mary wanted to do many good things to prove that it's not evil. The two became closer after that. Going back to the summoner from before, we now know that Mary had cooperated with him to summon the robot, on the condition that he wouldn't kill innocent people. But he didn't listen. When the investigators came for him, he killed them without hesitation. Before Mary could realize the situation, he had erased her memories and left, causing her to be arrested. He didn't want to kill Mary right away. He wanted to torture her mentally. In the squad's room, Auka and Mary argued again, with Takeru having to intervene. Auka was surprised when Takeru called Mary by her name. Realizing the issue, Mary continuously got close to Takeru to provoke Auka, and it worked. At this point, Usagi spoke up, saying there was another issue they should worry about more than how they address each other: the Academy's autumn tournament. At the announcement board, Takeru met his old teammate, but he didn't seem to like Takeru's squad appearing on the competition board. He said Takeru's squad would meet his team in the second round, but it seemed unlikely because he didn't think Takeru's team had enough strength to pass the qualifiers. Takeru didn't care and went home. At the academy gate, Mary was waiting for him because she had decided to live with Takeru for protection. Of course, Ulka would come along to protect and keep an eye on Takeru. At Takeru's lodging area, the place exuded a scary aura, with many crows around, making Ulka very scared. When they reached Takeru's room door, he gave Mary the key to enter first while he went to buy groceries. Mary wanted to go with him, but Ulka stopped her because she was very afraid of ghosts. Outside, there were other investigators following to see if Valhalla had any movements. In the evening, when Takeru returned with groceries, Mary had just finished bathing, and he accidentally saw her body. Mary thought it was normal until Auka came out. Auka tripped and fell onto Mary, and both of them ended up on top of Takeru. The very next day, the tournament opened. Takeru's team faced many difficulties because the members didn't coordinate well. Takeru could only wait for the enemy's openings to attack, but he was constantly being provoked and called a lousy swordsman. Ikuruga also wanted Takeru to get angry and end this quickly. Although very frustrated, Takeru didn't want to lose his cool so easily. He wanted Auka to act as bait and buy him some time. Then Takeru rushed out to fight. Feeling the mockery of everyone towards the lousy squad, Mary couldn't stand it anymore and immediately rushed out to act as bait for Takeru. This was also the momentum for Takeru's team to win. The MVP today was Mary, and Auka somewhat acknowledged her. Afterwards, everyone went to the food stalls to celebrate. At this time, Auka went to the principal's office to report. She accidentally read Mary's file and learned that Mary was related to Valhalla. She had been arrested on charges of murder. With this information, Auka reported everything about Mary to Takeru before the match. The fact that Mary was a murderer was undeniable. Anyway, they both still needed to clarify a few things related to her arrest and the mission assigned to the team. Above the arena, the investigation team was increasing the defense layers around the tournament. The principal also arrived shortly after. The captain questioned why the principal deliberately let Auka know about the report on Mary. But what the principal cared about now was whether Valhalla would appear or not. Then the second round began. Before both sides could fight, suddenly a girl from the opposing team had severe stomach pain, and from there, many black threads emerged attacking everyone. From the girl's body, a giant flower sprouted. When it bloomed, the witch appeared again. He called himself Haunted, the commander of the Valhalla army. Today he came to take Mary back, but Mary didn't remember who he was. Of course, Takeru didn't allow it. He rushed out to protect her. At this moment, the captain ordered to open fire on Haunted, telling them to shoot continuously even if he turned into a lump of mincemeat. The principal wanted the captain to capture him alive instead of killing him, but the captain refused, saying if they didn't kill him, they would be the ones to die. The magician went berserk. He used magic to trap Takeru, Auka, and Mary in a dark space. Outside, the captain ordered to continue shooting, but it had no effect. The robots also malfunctioned and started shooting their own people. At this point, the captain requested the principal's permission to use Relic Eater. The principal agreed readily, believing that inside, Takeru's group would be able to handle the magician. Inside, everything was fine. At this moment, Haunted appeared to take Mary away. Takeru took her to hide while he would confront him. Knowing the opponent was very strong, Takeru immediately deployed his battle armor. Lapis warned that Haunted's danger level was S, advising Takeru to be careful in the fight. Haunted was surprised that Takeru also had a covenant with a relic eater. He then pretended to apologize for coming to capture Mary, saying he was just following orders and hoped Takeru would forgive him this time. Takeru didn't care and rushed to attack. He had been lured exactly as Haunted planned. Suddenly, Haunted stabbed Takeru in the stomach, severely wounding him. In this situation, Lapis reported that Takeru's recovery time was unclear. At this point, Haunted also equipped himself with a battle armor. On Auka's side, she had found Usagi severely injured in the eye. Ikuruga also arrived shortly after. At this time, the principal contacted Auka from outside. Auka wanted to accuse and arrest him for the crime of detaining Mary. After reading the indictment in his office, she had investigated the crime scene. There she found some remnants of magic, but when checked, it wasn't Mary's magic attribute. A magician can't have two different attributes, and Auka was sure Mary wasn't the murderer. She accused her adoptive father of wrongful arrest. The principal happily negotiated with his daughter. Takeru's situation wasn't getting any better as he realized his opponent also had battle armor, and he became even more desperate when he saw that the enemy's weapon was also a sword. Takeru couldn't believe he had lost in a sword fight, something he was very proud of. At this time, Haunted wants Mary to return to him, but Mary refuses because she still has amnesia and doesn't know who he is. He breaks the memory erasing spell on Mary, and she remembers everything. Memories flood through her mind. Mary used to be in an orphanage, but it was soon burned down by the Valhalla group. They also captured all the orphans. Haunted appeared and asked Mary to cooperate with him to save the children, but he didn't keep his promise at all. Mary remembers everything, making her very desperate. Now Haunted gives Mary two choices. First, if she returns to him, he won't kill Takeru, and he'll also let her meet the children. Otherwise, Takeru's death is inevitable. Takeru stands up and exposes him, revealing that the children Mary tried so hard to save are actually no longer alive. He and Auka witnessed everything with their own eyes. Haunted proves that he isn't lying by summoning the children's spirits to meet Mary. Witnessing the truth before her eyes, Mary screams in despair. Her desperation makes him even more excited. Takeru comforts Mary, saying if she wants to punish herself, that's fine. But if she wants to atone for her past actions, instead of punishing herself, she should dedicate her life to using magic to save people. If that burden is still too great for her to bear alone, he will stand up and shoulder half of that burden for her. Takeru has recovered and enters into a fighting stance with Haunted. Haunted still doesn't consider Takeru an opponent and starts mocking him. Both rush into battle. Haunted uses continuous thrusting attacks, causing Takeru to be unable to dodge and be thrown far away. Even Takeru's brain acceleration skill has no effect. Takeru wants to continue attacking, but something blocks him. Lapis analyzes the situation. It's the slashing attacks of Haunted's armor that can materialize long slashes. The sword paths are maintained within the attack range after striking, so he can't approach immediately. Takeru quickly devises an attack plan. He continuously shortens and lengthens his sword to attack Haunted, and it proves very effective. At this point, Haunted throws the corpses of Takeru's old teammates at him, causing Takeru to lose focus and get attacked. Just as Takeru is about to be killed, Mary, despite the collar that will explode if she uses magic, uses an attack on Haunted. Of course, it doesn't hit him, but she thinks she's bought enough time for Takeru and awaits her own death. The collar doesn't explode. At this moment, Auka has arrived as a reinforcement. She had made a deal with the principal to disable the collar. Both join forces to support Takeru in the fight. Auka rushes in to keep Haunted busy, giving Mary time to cast her spell attack. She throws magic blocking dust around Haunted and continuously fires her gun. Just as he approaches Auka, Usagi shoots continuously from afar to push him back. This gives Mary enough time to cast her spell, which she fires directly at him. He easily dodges it, but what she aimed for wasn't him but Takeru. He has absorbed all of Mary's magic to enhance his own strength. Both sides enter a stance to launch decisive blows. The two sword tips clash with each other. Haunted still thinks he's stronger than Takeru, until Lapis deploys a comprehensive counterattack. This is her unique skill. Takeru absorbs all the magic from both Mary and Haunted and launches a final blow to end the battle. Completely defeated, the sorcerer leaves with a promise to make Takeru pay. The battle has ended. Mary happily thanks Takeru because thanks to him, she didn't make any more mistakes. All the injured have been taken for treatment, except for Usagi, who needs special treatment due to severe eye injuries. After finishing the treatment process, Usagi was called back to meet her mother. She has reviewed Usagi's academic performance and believes that with these results, she won't be able to pass the first year, let alone graduate. She then decided to have Usagi marry early, and this month is the last month Usagi is allowed to stay at school. At the academy, everyone has gathered to hear the announcement about the witch hunt event that had been cancelled being reopened. Initially, Takeru wasn't very interested in this festival until he learned that the academy would add a special currency for the festival. They can use it to exchange for points and can also exchange it for cash. Aoka wants to oppose this and advises everyone to focus on doing missions, but Takeru doesn't listen, and he starts to discuss strategies for the festival. They will earn a lot of money for Takeru to pay off the debt his parents left behind. After that, Usagi came to join everyone's meeting. At this point, there is a person named Ishida, the leader of Squad 23. He gets straight to the point, wanting to form an alliance with Takeru's team during the festival. Since their team also has few members, they want the two teams to support each other. With additional support, Takeru agrees immediately, but Usagi seems unhappy about something, showing an uneasy mood outside. While Usagi is thinking, she accidentally bumps into an acquaintance. It seems he did something in the past, so when Usagi faces him, it makes her very scared and collapse. Just then, Takeru passes by and sees this scene. He immediately comes to protect Usagi. The man introduces himself as Ryoma, Usagi's childhood friend. He asks Takeru to take care of Usagi because she is a very important person to him, then leaves first. Usagi, being too scared, also faints. On Aoka's side, she has met the student council president. This is Nagaru, who gets straight to the point and wants to ask Aoka for help with something. It's to catch a witch named Miphi, a witch who can manipulate human minds. People propagate that this witch is just an urban legend, but the president reveals that her people have been attacked. All were killed except for the president and her secretary. The president also mentions Ryoma's name. He just arrived here a month ago, but has already become the executive committee leader and done a lot for the school. It also coincides with a month since the president's side was attacked, so she wants to ask Aoka to keep an eye on him. At the infirmary, everyone has visited Usagi and left one by one to give Usagi quiet space to rest. Takeru was about to leave, but Usagi unconsciously holds him back. Takeru decides to stay with her. Late at night when Usagi wakes up, Takeru is still there with her. After that, he takes Usagi home. On the way home, Takeru wonders about the relationship between Usagi and Ryoma, but Usagi avoids the question and doesn't want to answer. Takeru still wants to know and hopes Usagi will tell him so he can help her. Usagi says she's about to marry him because if she's married into his family, her family's future will be brighter. She also reveals that this is the last month she gets to be with everyone, then runs away. Takeru chases after her and invites her to his home. At the lodging, Usagi is bathing and keeps thinking that today will be the day she loses her virginity to Takeru. They will eat before the bell so she doesn't marry Ryoma, so she is bathed very carefully. Although she says she doesn't like it, thinking about the scene of the two having children together makes her reconsider. After that, Usagi steps out without any clothes covering her body, then moves close to where Takeru is. She's ready to give her first time to him. At the climax, everyone has walked in and witnessed everything. They all rush to attack Takeru. After that, Takeru has told everyone everything. Takeru had called everyone here to discuss strategies to rescue Usagi because he knows she doesn't like marrying Ryoma. Now they just need to raise her score to a level that her family can accept for her to continue studying. They will actively hunt during the festival to earn a lot of money to exchange for points. Usagi cries happily. She always gets in everyone's way, but everyone still reaches out to help her. Takeru reassures Usagi that she is not useless. She has always been helping everyone from afar. Without Usagi, perhaps they wouldn't have come this far. The next day, Ikuruga presented her sure win plan to the support team. It's cosplay. When the girls come out, it immediately excites the crowd and fills them with fighting spirit. After that, they all took a commemorative photo. After the cosplay session ended, Alka started patrolling. She noticed a girl drawing something. When she came to ask, the girl said Ryuma asked her to decorate for the festival. Feeling unusual, Alka asked her weapon to show her the entire academy from above, and she discovered this is a kind of magic formation to control people's minds, with an extremely wide range of influence. At Takeru's place, while he was taking out the trash, Ryuma came to find him. He came to provoke Takeru and even revealed that Usagi had killed her own brother, making him furious and wanting to punch him. He promised not to give Usagi to someone like Ryuma. After that, he went to find Usagi again, but this time she wasn't afraid anymore because she had her teammates by her side. He mentioned again the pain of losing her brother, making her lose her composure and faint. After that, he took her away. After Alka realized that Ryuma was actually Mifai, she and the student council president's secretary prepared to capture him. As soon as they burst in, she saw Usagi lying on the ground. Suddenly, the secretary revealed her true identity. She had been possessed by Mifai. She had dealt with the president before coming here. When Alka was distracted, Ryuma stuck a charm on her forehead, allowing Mifai to possess Alka. On Takeru's side, he received a call from the student council president. She wasn't actually dead because she had worn a bulletproof vest. She called to inform him that Alka was in danger and needed the help of the useless squad. Mifai's plot was to reclaim her body being kept in the academy. She would use a magical artifact to brainwash the academy. With this information, Takeru called Lapis to track Alka's location, but she could only find Usagi's location at the church. He wanted to ask Mary to help break the brainwashing magic. At the church, Usagi was now wearing a wedding dress. She remembered when she was young, playing with her brother. Her brother took out a gun to show her. She thought it was a toy and kept asking to hold it. Of course, her brother didn't allow it. They struggled over it, causing the gun to accidentally fire and kill her brother. When Usagi was standing in front of her brother's grave, Ryuma came and laughingly asked how it felt to kill someone. Usagi refused to answer, making him angry and slap her. He then declared that she would be his in the future. When Usagi woke up, Ryuma was sitting on top of her. He said this was their wedding night, but Usagi firmly refused, making him furious for all his preparations. He slapped her. Usagi helplessly let him do whatever he wanted. In the moment of about to lose everything, she looked at the picture she had taken with everyone. They all promised to stay by her side to help. Not wanting to disappoint everyone, Usagi fought back. She bit him on the shoulder, then threw him to the floor. Ryuma angrily transformed and tried to make Usagi submit to him. Just then, Takeru arrived. He kicked Ryuma into the wall, then told Usagi to leave first to help Mary save Alka. As for Ryuma, he would beat this pervert to a pulp. Usagi wanted Takeru to promise that after everything was over, she wanted him to pat her head again. Takeru agreed, and Usagi left. Fighting this guy, Takeru only needed one move to finish him. He even pretended to finish him off to scare him so much he wet himself. After that, Takeru left to find everyone. At Usagi's location, she had been given 2 special bullets by Ikaruga to shoot at Alka. When hit, the soul possessing Alka would be dealt with immediately. However, Usagi needed to aim at non-fatal areas. At Mary's location, she was focusing on breaking the spell. Alka came to Mary, fully aware of her act. When she realized she was discovered, the witch was about to kill Mary. At this moment, Usagi arrived. She pulled Mifai down to the ground. When Usagi was about to shoot her, the witch stuck a charm that attracts males to Usagi and ran away. When Usagi was about to shoot, the charm took effect and the boys rushed to Usagi as if in heat. The witch came back to Mary, but this time Takeru arrived in time to rescue her. Surprisingly, Mifai could also summon a pair of guns. One bullet destroyed Takeru's battle armor. Even without the armor, Takeru was still able to match Mifai. At this moment, Usagi arrived. The witch tricked Usagi by saying that she was the real Alka, and Takeru was the fake one, confusing Usagi about who to shoot. Takeru didn't explain. He told Usagi to shoot him first, and then Alka, since neither of them could die anyway. He believed in Usagi's abilities. At this point, the witch was truly scared. When Usagi aimed at her, she tried to run but couldn't because Alka's soul was trying to regain control. Usagi didn't hesitate to shoot one bullet at Alka, forcing Mifai out. The witch tried to escape, but Usagi sent another bullet to her head, causing her to vanish. Mary also completed breaking the magic formation. Elka wasn't seriously injured. Everything was over. Afterwards, everyone went to participate in the festival together. After the festival ended, the principal called Ikuruga to his office to talk. The team leader was also there. The principal showed Ikuruga a photo of a dark elf cell. According to the team leader's explanation, the alchemists wanted to turn it into a weapon. Because Ikuruga used to work as a genius alchemist, the principal asked if she knew anything about it, but Ikuruga didn't care and left. As soon as she got outside, she contacted someone. On the day the scores were announced, the incompetent squad was still at the bottom of the rankings. At this rate, they wouldn't make it past the first year. Ikuruga said she could hack into the system to change the scores for the whole team, but everyone refused. Then everyone started meeting to find ways to earn points. Ikuruga and Alka started arguing again because they didn't agree on the approach. Seeing them being so noisy like this reminded Takeru of the peaceful days when the team was first formed, when it was just him and Ikuruga. At this point, Ikuruga announced to everyone that she would be taking a few days off from school due to work and left early. Takeru remembered the first time he met Ikuruga, when he still lost to her in a match. Ikuruga had wondered why Takeru didn't draw his sword. Takeru believed he only drew his sword when his opponent also used a weapon. Ikuruga really liked his straightforward nature, and they became acquainted after that. When Ikuruga left, everyone felt that she was behaving very strangely today, so they decided to follow her. At a headquarters in a ruined city, Haunted came to talk to a researcher who looked very similar to Ikuruga. His jokes had no effect on her. This woman was Isuka. She reported the failure in reviving the Dark Elf. Isuka had betrayed the Alchemist Corporation to work for Valhalla, as she felt this place would help her revive the elf race. Suddenly, Isuka's head hurt terribly. She received a notification that someone had stolen the Dark Elf cells, also known as the Lost Matrix, and the thief was her sister. In another development, Takeru's group was observing Ikuruga when she suddenly disappeared. When they went to check where Ikuruga vanished, they discovered an underground sewer. Takeru wanted to go down, but Mary stopped him, saying it was like a maze down there and they could easily get lost without a map. With no other choice, Takeru called Lapis to track Ikuruga's location. Meanwhile, in the sewer, Isuka had called Ikuruga to demand the return of the Lost Matrix. In fact, all the Ikurugas were clones of each other, and they were created solely interested in reviving the elf race. Ikuruga was different from the other Ikurugas as she had left and secretly conducted research outside, rather than working for corporations like Isuka. But now Ikuruga had given Isuka a condition. If she wanted the Lost Matrix back, she must allow Ikuruga to return to the research facility to monitor the elf revival process. While walking, she accidentally encountered two soldiers. Back with Takeru, Lapis was certain that she had provided the correct location of Ikuruga to the group, but it turned out to be a mafia hideout, causing the whole group to be attacked. While running, they accidentally encountered Ikuruga being escorted away. Takeru quickly rescued her, but everyone got separated due to a rain of bullets. While Takeru was running with Ikuruga, they were accidentally hit by a cannon shell. Takeru shielded Ikuruga and was severely injured. Takeru wanted to go save everyone, but the wound was bleeding heavily, causing him to faint. Ikuruga quickly took him to a safe place. She contacted Isuka, warning her that killing her was fine, but if Isuka's mercenaries killed her teammates, she would destroy the Lost Matrix, making Isuka cautious. The principal had received news about the attack. The Alchemist Corporation had contacted the principal, asserting that it wasn't their doing. To prove it, they were ready to provide 15 samples of their latest combat robots to the Academy, free of charge, so the principal could destroy Research Center No. 5. The principal gladly accepted it. Then he mobilized all investigators to prepare for a witch hunt. At the research center, Usagi, Aoka, and Mary had been captured. Isuka came to talk to all three. She was surprised that her sister had friends. Then Isuka recounted Ikuruga's past. Isuka and Ikuruga were both biological weapons created to research the elf revival process. From a young age, both were in the research room to work. As they grew up, while Isuka continued researching, Ikuruga discovered new things outside the world, such as family. She gradually realized this place no longer suited her. During the process of creating elf, Ikuruga failed to create an elf baby with magical powers. Instead of destroying the child, Ikuruga decided to let it live. Gradually, she developed new emotions while raising the child. But Ikuruga soon realized this place was no longer for her. One night, Ikuruga stole the lost matrix and left with the child. However, the child had been destroyed as a defective product before she could retrieve it. Afterwards, Ikuruga went to the academy to keep the lost matrix away from the alchemists. At Takeru's place, Ikuruga took Takeru to a safe location to treat his wounds and told him everything. Takeru asked Ikuruga what she really wanted by going back to that place and using the lost matrix for transactions. He said if she needed his help, he would still help her, and if she did something bad, he would stop her. Ikuruga was happy to hear those words and felt relieved being with Takeru. Ikuruga suddenly sat on Takeru. Before truly saying goodbye to Takeru, she wanted to experience human feelings, which is making love. Aoka started to undress. Takeru wondered why they had to say goodbye. As they were about to act, Isuka arrived to take Ikuruga away. With no time left to volunteer, Ikuruga kissed Takeru goodbye, then injected something into him that prevented him from moving. Afterwards, Ikuruga met with Isuka. As per their deal, she had the others released. Usagi wanted to return to the research center to save Ikuruga, knowing Ikuruga had done something to help them escape. Usagi didn't care about Ikuruga's past. She only knew her friend was in danger and wanted to help. Everyone agreed and set off to rescue Ikuruga. Just then, a group of robots passed by heading straight for the research center, followed by the principal's limousine. He warned that war was coming and told everyone to return. After hearing Aoka's explanation, the principal provided weapons to everyone and reminded Aoka she could freely use the Covenant. Elsewhere, as the drug wore off, Takeru tried to go outside. He begged Lapis to help him find his teammates. Lapis agreed and gave him a battle armor as well as healed his wounds. According to Lapis, Ikuruga was at the tower in the center. Without thinking much, Takeru rushed in to fight the enemy. Since it was still very high to the top of the tower, Lapis used her power to push Takeru up. On the principal's side, he was boldly walking in through the main gate. When 3 robots tried to attack him, the principal fired a bullet that made them destroy each other. Back to Takeru, he was actively eliminating the robots. Aoka came to support him so they could rescue Ikuruga together. Everyone was in position, and the underdog squad began the rescue mission. At the top of the tower, Isuka resented Ikuruga for escaping with the lost matrix. Because of her, Isuka had been reset and controlled like a puppet. Isuka also lost the ability to express emotions, but now she could escape this place by regenerating elves, and Valhalla would let her into the organization. Isuka wanted Ikuruga to hand over the lost matrix, but Ikuruga said her reasons for returning were firstly to complete the elf resurrection, and secondly to get Isuka out of there. 4 years ago, she deeply regretted not taking Isuka along when she escaped. But now Isuka saw Ikuruga as an enemy. She shot Ikuruga in the leg to force her to hand over the lost matrix, but Ikuruga had implanted it into herself. Then she transformed into a dark elf and created a dark sphere. She would destroy this place completely and take Isuka away. Just as Ikuruga was about to touch Isuka, the Haunted arrived to assist. On Takeru's side, he was running out of magic, while Aoka refused to use the pair of guns. Usagi was also running out of ammunition. Back to Ikuruga. Instead of attacking her, the Haunted stabbed Isuka in the stomach, causing Ikuruga to go berserk and attack him. She blew up an entire area and lost her power. Isuka couldn't survive either. The Haunted was still alive and created a dragon to attack Ikuruga, causing her to fall, but fortunately Takeru arrived in time. Takeru asked Lapis to analyze the situation. According to her, their chances of winning in a direct confrontation were 4%. Ikuruga criticized Lapis as being quite useless, saying that if it were a normal dragon, it would be difficult, but since it's a mechanical dragon, they just need to aim for its core. The dragon began destroying the surroundings. Following Ikuruga's instructions, Usagi reached the weapons station of the research center. The gun could only fire once and needed 5 minutes to reload. Meanwhile, Takeru was trying to lure the dragon towards himself. Usagi's first shots missed due to her nervousness, but thanks to everyone's support, she was able to calm down and hit it. However, the dragon wasn't dead yet. Usagi had only destroyed its outer shell. The dragon slammed Takeru into a wall. Just as it was about to bite Takeru to pieces, Aoka rushed out to shield him and was severely injured. Takaru used all his strength to stab the dragon's core. But at this moment, Lapis announced that Takaru had run out of magic and his battle armor was about to disappear. At the most desperate moment, Mary fired a massive amount of magic into Takaru's sword. Immediately, he activated a full counterattack and sliced the dragon in half. The battle was over. After a period of recovery, everyone continued their mission to earn points. Ikuruga found a mission to catch a smuggler scheduled for tonight, but she thought Aoka wasn't suitable for this mission. Feeling insulted, Aoka insisted on participating despite Ikuruga's warnings. This mission required everyone to disguise themselves in a bar to find the target. They had to serve customers, including some old men. Not knowing how to serve properly, Aoka caused trouble when a customer tried to touch her. Fortunately, Takaru appeared to handle the situation. After a while of serving, Aoka noticed a suspicious item on a customer. As soon as she had the chance, Aoka grabbed the item and destroyed it. But it turned out to be just a game console, and the real smuggler had already escaped. In the end, they still managed to catch him. Afterwards, the team brought the item back for Ikuruga to examine. It was just an F-rank ring that would earn them at most 5 points. Ikuruga discovered its function was to attract the person one likes when worn. She was about to try it on, but Usagi snatched it as she also wanted to try. Mary wanted it too, and as they fought over it, the ring accidentally fell into Takaru's hand. The surrounding space suddenly turned pink, and the girls began clinging to Takaru, having been enchanted by the ring. Even Lapis was affected. Everyone wanted him for themselves. The situation only ended when Ikuruga vomited on Takaru. A few days later, the squad went on another mission. This time, they were to investigate why summer wasn't ending at the beach. Upon arrival, instead of investigating, everyone changed into swimwear to enjoy the beach. The girls wore beautiful swimsuits, but Takaru only noticed Lapis wearing the school swimsuit. They all played together, while Ikuruga couldn't stand the heat and fell asleep. After playing, they went to eat. While eating, Takaru suddenly had a stomachache and rushed to the bathroom. Lapis wanted to follow but was stopped. At this time, Aoka noticed many injured people. Lapis analyzed that they might have been attacked by a monster that could make summer last forever. Usagi wanted to investigate in the sea, but Aoka couldn't swim, Ikuruga was lazy, and Takaru was desperate in the bathroom. With only 3 people left, Lapis came up with a plan to investigate by using Usagi and Mary as bait for the monster. After a while, the monster actually appeared and started dragging them down. Lapis tried to pull them up, but the fishing line couldn't bear the weight and broke. Just as they were about to drown, Takaru finished in the bathroom and, along with Lapis, dived in to save them. Although he couldn't swim, thankfully his battle armor didn't let water in. Takaru turned Lapis into a fishing rod and caught the monster to save everyone. The mission was completed. Today, Takaru visited his little sister, Kaisuke, who was in a top-secret detention room. She had been imprisoned for some reason. When the siblings met, Takaru recounted his experiences with his teammates. Then the visiting time was over. No matter what, Takaru wanted his sister to have a normal life. He promised to find a way to get her out before leaving. As usual, the Lame Squad has completed many missions to earn points. With their efforts, their scores have improved significantly. In another development, the principal is trying to control Kaisuke, as the little girl's power is too dangerous. When Kaisuke releases it outside her body, anything that touches it will become a part of her. This corrosion will continuously repeat without stopping, and it will eventually devour the entire planet if they don't do anything. Therefore, the principal is forced to kill Kaisuke repeatedly every time she resurrects. Just at this moment, there's another warning. Kaisuke has lost control again and is unleashing her power. The team leader must personally confront Kaisuke. Takaru's group continues their daily mission. Their target this time is a wizard. They disguise themselves as tissue distributors to approach him. When Usagi offered, he didn't take it, but when Mary offered, he quickly took it, proving that this guy likes flat chests. However, he soon realized something was wrong with the tissue and turned back to attack the team. The bullets he fired suddenly grew into monster trees. Everyone stayed behind to deal with them while Takaru chased after the wizard. When he chased him to an alley, Kaisuke suddenly appeared. She had already obliterated the wizard and came to meet Takaru. He was surprised that his little sister had escaped and found him. Then the little girl fainted from exhaustion. Everyone else caught up, and instinctively, Takaru pointed his sword at them to protect his sister. He warned that no one should come near the girl, as they would die if they touched Kaisuke. Aoka persuaded Takeru to calm down so they could help him. Then the team took Kaisuke to a safe place. On the principal's side, the team leader had failed to stop Kaisuke. Fortunately, he was still alive. The principal said they needed to capture the girl immediately before the entire city was destroyed. Back to Takeru, Kaisuke finally woke up, but she was still very scared. She clung to Takeru when Aoka tried to talk to her. Seeing this, Aoka pulled Takeru outside to talk. Takeru then recounted the disease that Kaisuke had contracted. They couldn't leave her out like this because it would be very dangerous. Their only option was to take her back to the research institute. They would escort her to the quarantine area. After agreeing on the plan, they began to implement it. Then the girls came to meet Kaisuke. They started disguising her to avoid attention. The siblings had a brief private moment. The little girl was truly happy that Takeru had such good teammates. Then she made a request to her brother to kill her. Kaisuke regretted the deaths she had caused. She wanted her brother to end this suffering with his own hands. Of course, he couldn't harm his little sister. Takeru affirmed that even if the world wanted Kaisuke dead, he personally wanted her to live, because they are family. If he had to kill his sister with his own hands, he would die with her that day. But now was not the time. Takeru promised to protect Kaisuke until the very end. Then the siblings continued their journey. Before returning to the academy, Kaisuke wanted to experience what's called a Ferris wheel. But when they arrived there, Takeru's old friend appeared. He had gone insane after witnessing the death of his teammates at the conference. He attacked directly without thinking. Both donned their battle armor to fight. He went berserk, targeting Kaisuke. Before any casualties could occur, the team leader appeared to stop the battle. He came to take Kaisuke away. Before leaving, Takeru apologized to Kaisuke for not being able to show her more of the world out there. Kaisuke said it was okay and hoped Takeru would keep his promise, then fainted. The principal came to inform Takeru that Alchemist had expressed a desire to cooperate in dealing with Kaisuke. Thanks to this, they might be able to restrain the girl's power. In exchange, Kaisuke would be transferred to a new facility, and Takeru would not be informed of its location to prevent Kaisuke from losing control and going to find him again. He said it was all for the benefit of the two siblings, then left. While they were transporting Kaisuke, they were suddenly attacked. It was Valhalla wanting to capture Kaisuke. Returning to Takeru's past, he had found a little girl in the warehouse. When he asked his father about it, he learned that she was his sister. It was revealed that daughters of the Takeru clan were born as demon vessels. For generations, they had a covenant to kill daughters immediately after birth. However, the demon's power grew over time, and now Kaisuke had become completely immortal. No matter what was done, the little girl could not die. Until one day, Kaisuke escaped and massacred many people. Takeru's father also couldn't escape the slaughter. With his last breath, he gave Takeru two choices: either kill his sister with his own hands or protect her. When faced with Kaisuke, he decided to protect her. When Takeru woke up, he was imprisoned with Aoka. She also wanted to help bear half of his burden, as he had helped her and others a lot. Later, the chairman used her connections to get both of them out. She also informed that Kaisuke had been attacked by Valhalla. Hearing this, Takeru immediately went to find his sister. Outside, Usagi and others were waiting. Everyone would help Takeru rescue his sister. On the captain's side, when he had eliminated the last one, a person from Valhalla appeared. He was one of Valhalla's leaders. The captain told Takeru's friend to leave first and escort Kaisuke, while he would face this person. In the car, this person wanted to eliminate Kaisuke immediately, as he deeply hated witches. When he was about to shoot, Takeru arrived just in time. Both of them continued the unfinished battle from before. He continuously fired at Takeru, who climbed buildings to dodge, then launched an attack that cut the man's gun into hundreds of pieces. He still wanted to attack, but Aoka arrived. He left with a promise that Takeru would regret not killing him now, then jumped off the bridge. Afterwards, Takeru tried to save Kaisuke. When he carried the little girl out, he could feel all the suffering she had gone through. The principal observed from afar, believing that Kaisuke's power was only fulfilling what the little girl wished for. The principal couldn't directly kill her, so when Takeru experienced the girl's feelings, he hoped Takeru could handle everything himself. At this moment, the Haunted appeared again. He gently pierced Takeru's stomach. Witnessing Takeru being wounded right before her eyes, Kaisuke unconsciously unleashed her power. It spread throughout the city, causing severe damage. The director of Alchemist came to meet the principal. She was Suzaku. Everything was part of their plan. The principal had to sacrifice an entire area to demonstrate the power of biological weapons. Then he bet with Suzaku on whether Takeru could kill his sister or not. The Haunted now wanted to use Takeru as bait for Kaisuke. Aoka immediately attacked. He engaged her, completely overwhelming Aoka. Taking advantage of the situation, he even stabbed her in the stomach. When he was about to finish her off, Kaisuke's power surged. With no other choice, Aoka had to make a covenant with her guns. After the protocol was completed, Aoka also donned an armor for herself. The Haunted also geared up to face her. The two fought extremely intensely. At the first opportunity, Aoka punched him into a wall, then took Takeru and ran away with the others. Next, they needed to stop Kaisuke. Ikuruga believed that to restrain the little girl, they had to continuously kill the leaked power until Kaisuke calmed down. Because of the immortal body, the flesh kept developing freely. They couldn't completely destroy it until the world was destroyed. Killing Kaisuke was impossible. Once the little girl didn't want to be killed by anyone else, her power would continuously reject death. The person most capable of killing her was only Takeru, because the little girl had wished to die by her brother's hands. Suddenly, the car was overturned. The flesh had caught up. They had no choice but to deal with this flesh as much as possible. They had to hold out until reinforcements arrived. As for Takeru, Lapis was treating his wounds. And when he woke up, Takeru still had to kill his sister. Everyone didn't want Takeru to bear any more burdens. Now it's their turn to shoulder some of his burden. Everyone cooperates together. Aoka uses her last amount of blood to transform, then rushes out to fight. Inside, Takeru is now blaming himself for not making the right decisions when he was young, causing him to regret now. At this moment, Lapis appears. She informs that there's still a chance. She will give all her power to Takeru, so he can fulfill his ambition. In return, Takeru must give everything to Lapis. Then she asks Takeru once again if he's ready to give up his human part to fulfill his desire. Takeru remembers the memories he had with everyone. Then Takeru decided to agree. Lapis kisses Takeru. An announcement rings out that Takeru's soul has been seized. Activating the Divine Hunter mode, it's time to hunt witches. Aoka outside is now fighting with many different types of monsters. She can only hold on for 5 minutes, while the numbers are still increasing day by day. Mary and everyone else can't hold on anymore. At this moment, Takeru steps out of the car. He uses a sweep attack to clear the monsters. His battle armor has been upgraded. He tells everyone to rest and leave the rest to him. Then leaves. Takeru has made a painful decision that he must kill his sister. Then he went to Kaisuke. The Haunted was waiting for Takeru there. Both begin to fight. The Haunted is very excited to see the scene of two siblings killing each other, but also can't let Takeru kill Kaisuke because the little girl still has value to exploit for him. But in fact, Takeru doesn't want to kill Kaisuke at all. When he was young, he regretted not being able to kill Kaisuke. That regret is what helped him live until now. But now, after going through with his teammates, Takeru doesn't care how much he will regret. He will continue to live with his ambition. He will never give up his sister or his teammates or this life. The Haunted stabs straight into Takeru's head, causing the helmet to shatter. Kaisuke's power is also gradually losing control and enveloping the little girl. Not much time left. Takeru uses all his power to eliminate the Haunted. Then he rushes straight into the flesh to find Kaisuke. While the little girl is gradually sinking into the abyss of despair, a hand has pulled her back. It's Takeru. Both happily hug each other. He doesn't want the little girl to suffer anymore, so he will try to find a way to save her. The battle has ended. The principal has come to meet the leader. The leader warns the principal, don't use Takeru to make history repeat itself. The principal cheerfully provokes back, because there's already someone who has ignited the war, so he doesn't care anymore. Hell will soon return. Everyone gathers together. No matter what, he's still very worried when witnessing the little girl having to suffer again. But everyone is here. They will shoulder half the burden for him. The anime series ends here. Goodbye everyone.